And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of We Grown? Question mark.
Question
What
mark?
is this voice?
I was trying something new. You know, since we're virtual
We're
now.
broadcasters now.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. But anyways, we're your host. I'm Shaun.
Jess.
And I'm Maya.
And we here. We grown. We're gonna start off like we always do. The usual. What had you feeling down?
So what's had me feeling grown is having shingles. Y'all, I am too young to be having shingles. But apparently, being immunocompromised for me, type 1 diabetic, and being under a lot of stress can activate the chickenpox virus if you've had it. I've had it twice as a kid.
Twice?
So apparently, yeah, I had it twice as a kid. Yeah.
I'm sure you ain't had shingles the second time?
Not as a kid.
They just came back like, gotcha.
No, man. Because it was before I was diabetic. It was twice. It was a daycare situation where it's just like everybody's getting chickenpox. And I got it the first time, and then somehow some kid got it and came, and everybody got it again.
I didn't know you could get it twice.
I didn't either. But yeah, definitely had it twice. And so, yeah, my doctor was like, have you been under a lot of stress lately? And I'm like, my life? Okay, yeah. She's like, yeah, that's probably what happened. She's like, being immunocompromised and under a lot of stress can cause it to reactivate. And that's probably what happened. And I was convinced that they were lying, but no, it really was shingles. I was like, no, this is just like a rash or, a bacterial infection or something, like something other than freaking shingles. But it was shingles. But I'm good now. It never got to the point where it was contagious because that was my other concern because my baby hasn't had chickenpox yet. So I'm like, I don't want to be the one to make her sick. So the way it's contagious is if you're like scratching to the point that they like burst. Yeah. So I never did that. So it wasn't contagious. And it was also like on my back. So my baby's not touching my back. So yeah, it was a lot. It was very annoying, but thank God for antiviral meds. Thank God for, what is that stuff? Aspirin cream, lidocaine, and allergy meds. Like all of those kind of help to stop the itching and all of that. But it was my life. Of course I get shingles.
That's
so that had me feeling old. Not even grown, old.
I mean, I don't think, well, your baby's too young, but I think now they get a vaccine for chickenpox when we didn't get that. So they just,
I did. Girl, I never got the chickenpox.
You're not that much younger than us. You in the same year.
Shaun, I never had chickenpox, and I had a vaccine. But also when my cousins and them were getting chickenpox, and my uncle was like, "Oh, bring the kids; they can all get it together." My mom was like, "No, why would I do that?" So we never had chickenpox, and I think eventually the vaccine wears out, maybe because I had to get it again after I gave birth to my kids.
That's interesting.
After Hezzy. I was supposed to get it after Joyous, but then I got pregnant again, and they said I couldn't get it while pregnant. So I got it after my son. But yeah, never had chickenpox.
That's so
Hopefully
weird.
I can't get shingles.
I don't know.
I still don't know how it works, but you can get it. If somebody has it, you'll probably get chickenpox. You won't get shingles. Shingles is the reactivation. And chickenpox is like the first infection, but it's the same virus.
We are not medical experts, so
we are not also that.
We are not.
Interesting. I mean, I remember I got chickenpox, and it was one of them like I remember Jalen came right on over because it was the summertime too. They were like, oh, "Go hug up on him." Like, And then, you get your oatmeal better and you live your best life in the summer where you just scratching and y'all just looking a mess. But it went away.
Yeah. The worst.
I don't understand this mass contagion stuff, but
herd immunity.
Right. Or something. Take out the herd.
We ain't do that.
Mm-mm.
It's a podcast, it's a video, and more.
Okay.
What has had me feeling grown? We have not been on this podcast for a minute. So I feel like all of my what had me feeling groans are so old from my original list, and I haven't started a new list. So I'm gonna do a throwback. I'm gonna do a little throwback one, which is still kind of accurate. Because I still gotta pay this car note. But what was it? Maybe right before we stopped recording. Actually, no, how long have I had my new car? Anyways, my old car was acting up. I got it fixed the first time. I got it fixed the second time. The same issue they claim, but the check engine light was not going away. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a new car because I have money. And I didn't want to. I really didn't want to because we paid off both of our cars. We felt like we were like doing what we needed to do as adults. But these cars be messing up. And I don't want to keep going to the dealership. So I just got a new car. And now I have to pay a car note because I don't have that much money.
That's ghetto.
It is.
Definitely
And then my husband got a new car right after me because he actually needed a new car. His car was like, I don't know, 12 years old or something. Maybe more than that. And he was trying to ride it till the wheels fell off, but my kids be in there. I need you to have a safe car.
Yeah.
It was big.
It was big and small at the same time. Like
it was wide.
Yes, that car was a muscle car. It was not a family car. Like you couldn't put nothing in there worth putting in. I feel like I don't even know where to look. Like this is weird a little bit.
Yeah, I mean my camera is a little higher than what my peripheral is, so it's like
I'm trying to be natural, but it's weird.
Yeah, I wanted to jump pointed down, but the we grown sign is up. So I gotta be able to see it. So it can't be pointing down. So I'm just like, y'all gonna look at me over here? Y'all gonna look at me over here? But it's cool.
Yeah. What had you feeling grown, Shaun?
My pineapple. It's like, no, that's not what had me feeling grown. But look, I'm look cute.
It looks more like a palm tree.
Yeah, I can see that. A little palm bush, like a little shrub.
Palm bush. You can't give him the whole tree.
A little shrub.
Well, never mind. What had me feel? I feel like I got multiple. What had me feeling grown? Some of them segue into each other. So last week I went to Afrotech. And did it have me feeling grown? Not necessarily, but it had me feeling real black, like real pro black. That like I was there and I was like, dang, it's a lot of black people. Like, look at my people. But it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was just being a black professional. Getting freebies. Really, I mean, like that expo, I was in there. I was like, y'all getting freebies that last day? That had me feeling grown. The last day, like, I'm like, I know y'all trying to get rid of this stuff. I don't want to tell y'all about my life. I don't want to tell you about my career. Like, I was walking up there and I was like, look, I gotta leave to go to the airport in an hour. Can I just have the lip gloss and call it a day? Like, I just want the lip gloss. Give me the notebook. Give me the hair products. Just right here. We talked already. Y'all already know me. You know me. You saw me here because the guy was like, "Oh, you back again?" I was like, "That was my brother." Like it wasn't me. Just give me my stuff. Like, just give me my free stuff. That's all. The stuff that I paid for. But but in Afrotech, it was in Houston. And I got to have breakfast with a very special somebody. Actually, it was just Hobby. I say very special, but it's Hobby. That's my boy. Because he does live in Houston, so we get to meet up, and we had breakfast together. So that was nice. Because I haven't seen him in a while, so we got to catch up and just kind of chill.
When did he move to Houston?
May? June? May time frame.
So kind of recent.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Houston when we recorded.
He was not. No. He was here. So yeah, it was cool. We got to see each other. So I had him up at the crack of dawn. He was like, "Shaun, this is not the time that I'm usually up." And I was like, "You be all right." But he made it. What else had me feeling grown? I have to winterize my house.
Bruh. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, because the first year I thought I was doing it right, like doing the hose bibs, like you got to drain out the water and all that. We thought we did it right. Both of the hoses burst, most of the bibs. I was like, dang. So come springtime, we turned that joint on, and then we were like, oh, okay, let's go wash the car. Water was squirting in the house, and we were turn the joint off. I know. And they were like, well, this isn't in the warranty. I was like, I followed your instructions. I did what you said. Did we do it correctly? Yes. Yes, we did. But they replaced it. And they redid like some of the stuff that was not working. Did it just freeze?
No.
Oh, it frozen on mine, but not anymore. There you go. Yeah, so that had me feeling grown, or will have me feeling grown, has me feeling grown.
Ever done that though? Nothing has broke yet, but
That you know of.
I mean, we've been here a couple of years, but I always send Marcus the videos of people doing stuff. He don't be doing it, and I'm not gonna do it. So we just rolling the dice
That's
every
pretty.
year.
Now I be trying to, make sure everything's good, changing filters and stuff. I say like I'm doing it. John's doing that. I did the whole.
Do it.
I mean, it takes both of us, but
We do the filters just because everybody got allergies.
yeah. Oh, and then we got to make sure our what's it called? The humidifier's on and all that. So,
I have one with your HVAC.
yeah.
If we upgrade our HVAC, I want to do that. Maybe our humidifiers.
Let you know. It was chaotic.
Needed.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're great. I mean, they're really useful. When we did, since we got it, they put in one that was not for Ryan Homes. It was for the level above Ryan Homes. So we were like, how do you turn it on? The man on the phone, he talking to me like I'm an idiot, like press the on button. And I'm like, there is no on button. And he's like, there's an on button. Press the on button. I was so blown, like. So then he came and he's looking like the on button. Oh, there's no on. Oh, there's no on button? Like what? Wow. I had no clue. Like oh, it has to be. Oh, I have to like actually hook it up. I don't know how to do that. I was like, get out of my house. So they had to change our thermostat and give us the next level up because the thermostat couldn't register like having a humidifier in the house. So then we had to get the one there, and they're like, "Well, that doesn't come with that. That's what you gave us, so give us the new one." And then we were like, "Oh, we about to have this this other thermostat. We gonna sell it." They took that joint right out the house with them, and I was like,
Why would? Of course they did.
I was like, "Bring it back." I was so bummed, like.
Thank you.
But it took months for them to get that set up because they like I would take off of work and I would be here, and then if people wouldn't show up, I went off, and I was just like, y'all ain't about to have me wasting no more money. I was like, I have leave, but y'all don't know that y'all ain't having me do this no more. And they ended up having to come in on a Saturday to do it. And they were like, we don't come in. Well, I don't care what you don't do. Like you coming in today, and I got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, so be here at 8. was just mad.
Okay, I see you. This is a different Shaun from first season, or old episodes. Because old episodes, Shaun used to be like, "Yes,
No, that
yes."
was just because I was taking off of work, and after it was like 7 times. Like I was just,
Yeah.
and
I've
then I
been
felt
pissed.
bad because I'm going off on the man, and I'm like, I know this ain't you, but somebody got to hear it. Just be mad.
It's got to be the daddy Shaun. It's that parent instinct
Oh, that wasn't this
kicking
year. That was
in.
like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That was that was the first winter that we got it.
Yeah.
Getting this story late.
Well, it had to do with winterizing the house. So.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's what had me feeling grown. I feel like I need to be sitting in this chair with like one of them long cigarettes. Like,
Or not.
That's a couch, ain't it?
a chase. Had me just
Oh,
laughing.
Chess?
Oh, whatever.
I don't know if that's right.
Is it chess?
It's French.
I don't know if either one of you guys are right, but I feel like Jeff be trying to make stuff fancy for no reason. And it's probably just a chase.
It's a French word for chair.
It's gonna be like that. Back to our time. She kept calling time. It's just time. Do not believe anything she says.
Are you sure it's not chase? Because you remember the commercial where they were selling the lady was like chase.
Yeah, I feel like I heard it on TV like chase. Like I didn't hear what Jess is talking about. But again,
She talking about the cheese.
I just don't be trusting her with words no more.
I don't be here. Well, that's crazy.
What
But
you call
okay.
it? A chess?
Chess? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to insert a clip of how you pronounce the word.
Chase. Like that. It's a whole commercial. Are you looking it up?
Shaz. Yeah, I am. Well, that's how they have it phonetically spelled, but that could be wrong.
You gotta get Google to say it.
Exactly.
Oh! You hear it?
No.
You have headphones on, girl.
I
Talk about me. I said I was gonna show y'all my iPad to show y'all videos, and here she go. Y'all hear it? Can't hear nothing.
I'm trying to hold it up so y'all can hear it.
It's okay. We'll believe you for now, but we'll look it up also.
But whatever. A French website.
Yeah.
Right, type in. How do you say this in French?
Right. How do you say chair? Google Translate. But it's cool. But yeah, so we were going to start introducing segments this go round. And because I 1000% read all of the stuff that we were going to be doing, the first segment I'll hand it off to Moyo to do.
No, okay, so I started listing off different types of segments we could add on. So we always do our what's had us feeling grown. We all have kids now and they do funny things, kids say the darndest things type stuff, or do, because their kids don't really talk yet.
They really don't. I think she do.
She should be saying no by now.
She say something.
But so I had what I was gonna call kids table, or we can call it something else if anybody has any other ideas. So that would just be a story about one of our kids, whoever has a funny story of something that may have happened. Another segment we talked about was what's on the socials, which is like, what is something we saw on social media that was interesting that we could talk about. So I don't have an example off the top of my head right now because we're just listing them out. Then if we have a main topic, we go into the main topic. which right now is the baby's, what is it, birth story series that we're
Birth
trying to
stories.
do.
Mhm.
I also thought about like a walk down memory lane, because some people talked about like wanting to hear more of our
Girl.
college stories and like how we met type stories, or like whatever escapades we had back in the day stories. And I don't know if people want to just know about our dynamic, like the three of us stories, or any past stories that were interesting or we think is interesting. And then Jess, you had the this or that could be a segment, and it seemed like she was doing some deep stuff with her this or that, because we used to do like this or that, orange or apple, just like this or that being understood or not being heard at all. Like, I don't know.
It came to me that morning, like which one could I live with? Like I don't know. I just want to, throw it out there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we could talk about that right now, and then we could go into the birth story. Who's doing a birth story? Shaun?
I think it's me.
You're going to do for your first-ish?
It's all one story.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
It's all one story.
So this or that.
Yes,
you explain the idea.
Okay. So the this or that in this situation where it's like you have to pick one, and that morning it literally was like on my mind of like, would I rather be misunderstood every time I spoke or not heard at all? And like that's a really hard thing to choose between, because I feel like I've been in that situation where I've had somebody who did not hear me at all, and oftentimes when they would hear me, they'd like misinterpret or misunderstand. And I'm like, if I could just choose one of these to deal with you, which one would it be? And I don't know, because I hate repeating myself.
Is
Like,
the idea that eventually they understand if you keep explaining, or they eventually hear you if you keep, like, if you repeat yourself maybe 10 times, they'll finally hear you, or they just never will hear you, or they'll never understand?
I feel like with repetition, eventually somebody will hear you. But with misunderstanding, the desire has to be there from the other person for them to want to truly understand. Like, you're always going to see things from your perspective unless you want to genuinely understand somebody else's perspective. So I feel like with repetition, people will hear. Granted, it's still up to their interpretation. But with the misunderstanding, there's just no common ground. There's no reaching like a civil point if they're committed to only understanding it from their perspective. So, like, thinking about it, I think I would just get over having to repeat myself, because I feel like that's what having a kid is going to be like a little bit. Like you have to keep repeating for them to really conceptualize it or to really understand. So it takes repetition, but it's just harder to have that patience with adults, I think, for me at least. Like, I feel like with kids, like, I don't mind, but with adults, I'm like, come on now, you heard me. Yeah, that's my this or that. Do you all have a preference between the two if you had to have one or deal with one?
I feel like I would say I would rather people not hear think, because let me think some more. Hold on.
I'm gonna say not here as well, just because if someone can never understand me, then I'm like, what's the point of even talking? Or am I gonna start saying stuff in a different way to try and get them to understand my true intention? But I feel like it's just easier to repeat myself.
Yeah, I think my confusion is, at what point in either scenario does the person get it? Like, because I think people misunderstand things often, and you have to be like, actually, no, this is what I meant, or this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. And you can always say, okay, what did you hear me say? And the person can say, this is what I heard. And then you can be like, okay, this is not what I said. This is what it is. But if they didn't even hear you in the first place, it's like,
That's true.
How many times am I going to tell you before you actually hear what I'm saying?
I do it.
As somebody in therapy dealing with that, like, even if they do hear you, it's still up to their interpretation. Even if you re-explain it, they're still committed to their version of the truth. And like, that is incredibly, incredibly defeating and frustrating, depending on the person like that you're dealing with. Like, if you are committed to this is your truth, this is your perspective, even when I'm like trying to see it from your perspective and explain it from my perspective, and you're still just like, well, no, this is what actually happened, and this is how I interpreted it, and this is just what it is. And it's just like, you're not even trying to hear really what I'm even saying. You're not even trying to understand my perspective. Your perspective doesn't matter. It's only your perspective that matters. And I think that's what's so frustrating and heartbreaking about the misunderstanding part is like, it feels like there's a part that they don't care about you to it too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
and I
like,
think
go
I would
ahead.
say I think it's also who we're talking about. So like, if it's someone close to you, the answer may be different than if it was a stranger or like coworkers or.
Yeah.
So the answer might be different based on the relationship.
Yeah. Like, I've had people at work that are committed to misunderstanding because they just have their perspective. And like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'll go around you, go above you, or just not deal with you if I don't have to. Where you don't really have that option if people are like close to you, like you want to try to work it out and all of that. So it's just like, yeah, it definitely depends on the relationship, but it's definitely still frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. So how, this is just as me being extra, but how then do we help people better understand? Because we don't want to come on here and only complain. Let's try to give people solutions or things to try, even if we don't know like for sure that this has worked. If we haven't necessarily done it ourselves, or if we're still working through something, I think people can learn from the things we've already tried, the things that we're considering trying, the things your therapist may have suggested. Like, how would you then handle this situation?
Well, I got my therapist involved. I got a third party person involved to like help, what do you call it? Like,
Mediate.
mediate. Yeah, I was gonna say mitigate. Mediate the situation. I think having a neutral party in between the two kind of helps uh, leave somebody there non-biased to kind of like explain to both people, like, you know, what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what's going on. Um, and the hope is that both parties with the third person are committed to trying to understand the other person. Like, I think being open to not being married to your own perspective, but being open to the other person's perspective is really key. Um, and I think being okay with the outcome not being what you expected, which was the hardest part for me to expect or to accept, I should say. Like, I feel like I had high hopes of the mediation, and it didn't end the way I wanted it to, but it wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't disastrous. It just did not meet my expectations. And I had those expectations like set so high, like this is what's going to happen. And it didn't happen. And it was just as heartbreaking, I guess, as the initial thing that was what led to the misunderstandings. But yeah, I think it's just learning boundaries for sure, knowing your boundaries, and then learning how to accept people for who they are, what they are, where they are, and not, even though they're not going to see your side of it, you still extend that grace to see their side of it and understand their side of it too. I think being the bigger person, I guess you could say, but I think when you humanize another person, it really helps you to kind of understand like why they may do the things they do. It doesn't necessarily excuse it, but it kind of might help you move on.
Yeah. I think that's good. Shaun, any thoughts?
I feel like Jess covered it.
You seem like you're just like lost. Yeah.
No, I mean it was a way more deeper this or that than what I originally expected it to be. I was like, oh, this is way more in depth. Um, yeah.
Yeah. But I think people kind of want to get more out of us, I would say.
I'm not saying it wasn't it was a bad thing.
Yeah. I'm just saying why I was like, let's dig a little bit. Let's not stay as surface level. Like we're letting people into the group chat. So let them be into the group chat a little bit. Let them understand, like, because these are conversations at least Jess and I have had, right? So I know the background story, and that's why I was like, okay, what was said and how is it now going? And I think that it is growth. It's also, again, we're grown. So there's certain things that in the past we may be able to just get through and push through because it is what it is. Like life will move on. But now all of us are like, actually, I'm grown. I need certain things done a certain way. I need people to understand me when I'm speaking. I need people to hear me. I need my voice to be heard. Like I'm not a child. I need all of us to be kind of on the same playing field because at this point, nobody's really above another in the way we're dealing with our relationships. So even at work, you might have someone that's older than you or in a higher position than you, but that does not mean they can talk to you crazy. Like there's still boundaries to be set no matter who it is.
Yeah.
And that includes family, that includes friends. Like it's everybody. It's everybody. And I feel like I kind of have a similar situation where I thought I had somebody that I was like, I ride for that person, and no matter what they do, and then they did something, I was like, actually, I'm done riding. I'm not riding no more. I don't want to ride no more. I'm done. It took a long time for me to get there, just because of everything we've been through together. But at the same time, I was just like, is it worth it? Is it worth the stress? Like there was a point of time where I was stressed about other stuff and then still adding that person's stuff to my stuff. And I'm like, that's one thing I can let go of. Like, that's not even something I got to actually deal with. I have my core stressors that I need to focus on, and everything else is extra at this point. So yeah, I think it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
Agreed.
On a lighter note, Shaun, you want to say something before I change the topic?
No, I mean, well, I think, because y'all know, I don't not that I'm not in the group chat, but there's a lot of calls that happen when I'm at work. So, I mean, as Jess was speaking, then I'm like trying to like piece stuff together. I'm like, oh, I missed a lot. So that's why I was like, oh, this is way more deep than I thought it was, because it's like I have like strands of knowledge, and then I'm like trying to fill in, but then I also don't want to fill in incorrectly. Where I was just making assumptions on like, oh, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Are we talking about this? Are we doing this? And I'm like, let me not. So it's like I won't question, or let me not say contribute, but I don't want to make assumptions and then it's just off.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to misunderstand.
Yeah.
So he was listening, so I wouldn't have to repeat myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I was like, no.
But you know the situation, though.
Yeah. I mean, well, as it was going, I was like, oh, like, oh, this isn't just one of those ones where you're sitting on the toilet and drop a deuce, and then you're like, ha. Like I was like, oh no, this was thought about. Yeah. But no, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can.
No, lighter note. I was handing it off to you to take the mic for your birth story.
Oh, okay. Well, is that a lighter note? Is it? I guess it gets
It
lighter.
it might start heavy, but it gets to the lighter note, right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
So, I mean, sure. Let's start with this birth story of Kendall's. Um, yeah. I mean, so adoption is always tricky. It's always challenging, or it can be challenging, because there's so many risks that go into adoption. So like we started our process in January, or at least we decided that we were going, like we picked an agency. So come February, we're like, okay, like let's go with it. So we meet with them, our social worker. We have conversations.
You're talking about 2023?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, we have the conversations, we start moving forward. So you have to do your home study and all. So that's a lot. I mean, home studies it can go, let me not say quickly, but it can go, it's really as fast as you want it to go. Because there's so much stuff that goes into it that you have to get done. Um, so it's really just kind of up to the people who are doing the process. So we were very fortunate that some of the stuff that was asked for us just happened to like line up. So like as an example, like they gave us our sheet, like here's the checklist of all 50 million things that you have to do. So one of them is like you have to get a physical, and in your physical, it has to be like you have to have these papers signed. So then like, okay, cool. Luckily for us, we had a doctor's appointment scheduled for that week. Physicals at that. So we were able to take the papers in and get those done. So like many of the things that they did ask for, like we were able to finish kind of almost finished the home study in about like like a month or two, just because we already like things just really really lined up for us. So that was good, but it's not as it's a lot. Like we had to have the fire station, or the police, or fire police, the firefighters come in and they had to inspect our house. We had to make fire escape plans and things like that. We had to do this health and sanitation department had to come in and make sure we have running water and windows that opened and closed and electricity. And I'm like, dang, this is a lot. We get fingerprinted. That was a lot. We had to write, y'all know, we had to write biographies about ourselves. And that one was like 13 pages. And they were like, can you add more? No, I cannot. This is my life right here. um, yeah, so come May, June timeframe. So May, we were doing like a adoption agency in Texas. So come May, we weren't done yet. We were like right there. I think we had like one more paper just to turn in, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna start showing your profile because you guys are, I think you guys are gonna go pretty quickly." So they started showing our profile, so we got shown not not many. The first one it was like a Hispanic mom, a black or Hispanic birth mom, black birth dad, and we were like, oh, that sounds like too good to be true. And then they ended up pulling out because they weren't like sure. So like, okay. So then there was another one that happened, and we said yes, and I don't know, I had a really bad dream that night, and I was like, we gotta say no. I'm gonna send an email saying no because this isn't it. This isn't it for me. I was like, I don't know, I just got a feeling. So we said no to that one. Then the next one came in. They said no to us. So this is I guess now we're entering into July. So then we got one. And both of us felt pretty strongly about it. So we said like, yeah, like let us show our profile. So then she narrowed down her selection to the top. I think it was 2 or 3 people. So we had a video chat. Video chat? Sort of. I mean, we were on video. She was like in a bed sheet, like covered, so we didn't really see her. But it was really like a get to know you game. So like the social worker would pick a number between 1 and I think it was like 300. So we would pick a number. So it was like 267. And then it would be like a random question, like, if you could vacation anywhere in the world, like, where would you go? Um, and then, like, we're, I would say we're decently well traveled. So we've been to play like, oh, like, I would go back to Italy. And then, like, because Rome was so nice, yada, yada, yada. And then she would respond, like, I want to go to the beach because I've never been. And I was like, true, like that is nice. I also like going to the beach. So that was very interesting. So she ended up selecting us. So it was July. So we got selected. She was very early on in her pregnancy. So you can't start adoption, like you can't start like or go to an agency until you're at least 3 months. So she was 3 months pregnant. So that time, like from July to I guess December, that's when she was due. It was just a lot of we were talking on the phone, we are like doing video chats, we're just kind of getting to know each other. Uh, like so we're always, I mean, like doing adoptions, you're they kind of teach you to be skeptical because you have to take so many classes throughout the entire thing. So they're also always like, this baby is not your baby until they sign their rights away and you sign this paper. So in Texas, it's 48 hours. So it's like, this ain't your baby. So that is something that was drilled into our heads the entire time. So we go down to Texas, like we meet her, we meet at like a restaurant. So it was really chill. Um, we vibed. It was cool. So she's like, "What are y'all doing for like? Are y'all gonna have a shower?" We're like, "No, we're not gonna have a shower." And she's like, "You gotta have a shower. Like, how you gonna get stuff?" And I'm like, "Uh, okay, I guess we can do a
Like, I'm
shower."
like, just buy it.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I mean, I guess we. She's like, "You got to. Like, come on. Like, I would love for you to have a shower." And we're like, "Okay, like, yeah, yeah, we'll do a shower." She's like, "Okay, like, colors. Like, what are we thinking?" And we're like, "Beige." She's like, "Are you gonna paint the room?" It's white. And she's like, "I love pink. Like, pink is my favorite color." Um, and this baby girl, like, do pink, and we're like, yeah, like we can do pink. Pink is cool. So pink. um, so we have a baby shower. My family plans it. It's a beautiful baby shower. Very good time. We love it. Um, in the bedroom, we decide, dang, it's about to storm.
I didn't know what I was hearing.
Yo, so it's raining where y'all are too? Damn.
Not in all of our area. Like I just saw the
Thought
light.
the roof was shaking. I'm like, what is happening? Are people jumping upstairs
Yeah,
or what?
just like,
Oh,
okay.
Jesus Christmas. But yeah, so she's like, what are you doing for the baby's room? So like we paint the baby's room. I mean, I'm an artistic person. Like that was one of my like favorite things to do. So we painted the room, like cool. December comes, like we're talking. She didn't want us in the hospital. She wanted us in the hospital. She didn't want us in the hospital. She wanted us in the hospital. And we're like, okay, well, we're not going. Like, we'll wait. Which they advise you to do anyway. And then she's like, all right, the baby's coming. Like, where y'all at? And we're like, where we do? So they're like, all right, come on, come on. So we go down there. We go down to Texas. We get there. She sends us pictures. We're like, oh, the baby. Like, she's so pretty. Um, like, yay, baby. Like, oh my God. Like, we're here. We're here. Everybody knows we're in Texas. We're flying there. We hit Walmart. We pick up some flowers or like, we get this card. Like, yeah. So we head to the hospital. Social worker comes down and she's like, so she wants to spend 48 hours with the baby. And we're like, what does that mean? It's like, well, she's gonna take some time to be with the baby. And we're like sitting in the hospital lobby, like, okay, like, I guess we just sit here, like. I was like, well, we got these flowers. She's like, I'll take them upstairs. And we're like, okay, cool. And then her mom comes in to the hospital, and we knew it was her. I mean, they look the exact same. So her mom comes in, and she comes like straight over to us, and she's like, "Oh, like I recognize y'all. Like it's just a lot going on. Like it's overwhelming for her. Other stuff has happened." And we're like, "Dang, this is crazy. Like And she's like, no, it's not y'all. Like, it's just like, she's trying to figure stuff out. So she's there. I mean, her mom's there, the sister's there, the grandmom's there. Like, so we're like, okay. So we head back to the hotel because we booked this hotel for the weekend. So they tell you not to book your Airbnb and stuff, just in case. You never know. So we just had the hotel, and we have our car. So then later that night, like that afternoon, the social worker calls and was like, she decided that she's gonna parent the child, and we like, dang, that's crazy. Like, we flew all the way down here, and they're like, well, now what? And they were like, well, she's gonna call y'all and like, tell you. So she never calls. Luckily, our hotel was right next to a Total Wine, and I'm free samples, baby. Whew. Like, we were walking around like, hit me again, pull me, like the little tiny cups, but it's all good. So everybody, we start calling people, call our, oh, I feel like it was so bad too. That day was the day that my mom's dog died. So my mom, like, she's like a wreck. Also, because she like watched the dog die. Like the dog was like there and like fell over and was like that. So very sad. I mean, the dog, the dog's old. Like we've had the dog since 2009. So the dog lived a long, long, great life. Uh, so then we call. We're like, this is what's happening. We tell you guys. Everybody's just like upset and so angry, and we kind of just like, that's crazy. Like, we're upset, we're mad, but we're not like, I feel like everybody else was way more mad than we were.
I thought it wasn't going to happen when you originally told us that the mom, and is it a grandma
The
involved
grandma.
too?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's the
was like,
grandma.
I don't see a Black mama and grandma giving up their grandchild and great grandchild. But if you say so, like, we'll, we gonna believe it or like have hope for you. But the story just wasn't making sense to
Yeah.
me
It,
because they seemed involved.
yeah, I mean, it's always tough because you only get parts of the story. Like, you never get the full story. So, like, we would hear stuff from a birth mom that the social worker didn't hear. And then she would hear stuff that we didn't hear. So we're like trying to piece stuff together as it like was sitting in the hospital lobby. Like, oh wow, like no, we didn't know that. Oh, did you know about this? And then she's like, no, we didn't know about this either. But like no one really like knew everything. I mean, because even like the head of the agency, they called and was like, no one knew, no one expected this. So they were like, well, do you guys want to like take some time? You want to get back on the list? And we were like, put us back on the list. Like, y'all have been prepping us for this for a good minute. Like, yes, we're sad. Like, we will be okay though. It also probably helped that, like, me and John, neither one of us would say like we had a baby name picked out, and neither one of us would use the name. Like, it was always like the baby, that baby, the baby. Like, so I think that probably helped us stay a little bit detached from it.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, well, we don't know. We don't know. So yes, of course we were excited. Nobody, I mean, we didn't want to tell, originally we didn't want to tell people, but they really encouraged you, like, you can't like keep this a secret forever. It was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so we got back on the list and we're like, well, who knows how long this will be. But I guess what do people say? Highly blessed and highly favored. So within a week and a half, and about a week and a half later, we got another thing where it was like, "Do you want to show your profile?" And I looked and I was like, "John, this is it." And he's like, "Why do you think that?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "But I just know. Like, this is it." So I would say within like hours, she was like, "I want that." So we were picked. We got on the phone. We did we had this meeting again. So we're on the phone for a few hours. We're just talking. We're cracking up. Like, it's just, the conversation was just so easy. just so much easier to have with her. But she was due in like 2 weeks, so we were like, "Dang, that's soon." But it's not like we aren't prepared. Like we got all this stuff. We had a baby shower. Like the room is there. Like so, but we were like, we're not gonna tell anybody that this is happening. The baby is due on John's birthday. So I mean, it's super close to Christmas. And we're like, this baby gonna come before John's birthday. Like, it's gonna come before Christmas. But at this point, we've already like, we're gonna host Christmas at our house because we're back now. So I was like, oh shoot. So Christmas comes, no baby yet. We're like, all right, cool, 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 cool. The day after Christmas, yeah, or let me. This is already planned, but it was like, we're gonna have a pity party. Like, we gonna turn up. Like, we gonna feel good. Like, we not gonna keep dwelling. And I'm like, we might not make it to this pity party. Like, but I'm not gonna say nothing. If we don't make it, we don't make it. I'm gonna just make up something. I don't know. I got the runs or something. But made it to the pity party. Like, all right. Uh, birthday come up. We like, cool. All right. No baby. Next day we go out to eat, and I was like, John, this baby about to come. I was like, it's gonna come when we at the restaurant. And John's like, you think so? I'm like, yeah. Go to the restaurant, no baby. On the way home though, baby came. And I was like, oh, well. So we went out, went to Texas again. So I was like, dang, we've been to Texas so many times this month. That's crazy. But we got there. We didn't tell anybody. We in the hospital for we're in the hospital for that 40. I mean, how long you in there? For 2 days, I guess. That one was wild because we had our whole own like hospital room. So it was very cool because we were very close to the birth mom. So we would just like switch rooms. We just go there. We'd go back. So we all kind of just chilled and talked a lot. I guess bonded. So that was cool. She signed, we signed, and then we had a baby. So we got to the hotel. Well, actually, we did all the stuff at the hotel. Social worker came. We did all the stuff. We signed and all that jazz. So what I did, the first thing I did was, we called my mom because I had hid. I think on Christmas I went to my mom's house and I hid a candle that I had for her, and it said like grandma, but I hid it in the basement somewhere. Just as like, well, whenever it happens, and then like I'll just tell her get it. So then I told her go in the basement, like get the candle. Like, oh, I have something downstairs. I need you to get it. So she goes downstairs and then I'm like, open it. And she's like, I was like, what's it say? She's like, it says lavender. And I was like, what does it say? Lavender and eucalyptus. I'm like, Ma, what does the other side say? And she said, it says grandma, but I don't get it. I was like, why would I give you a candle that says grandma? And she's like, Shaun. I was like, what? She's like, Shaun. And then I turn the camera around and Kendall's asleep. And then she screams, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, so she's crying, and then we did the same thing. We called my sister. She was like at a party, and then I turned the camera around. She screams, and she's crying and stuff. And then we did the same thing for John's family. So that was really exciting as well. I mean, because his niece and nephews were there, so everybody was just really, really excited. And funny enough, everybody's like, "Is this the same baby?" I'm like, no, like it's a different baby. They're like, "Oh, wow." And I was like, yeah, like this is just the baby we were supposed to have. So that was a time. What a time. I think that's my birth story. Or our birth story.
Story.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot. I mean, I skipped some details just because, those are for Kendall, for her to have her story. But that was like an overall kind of general thing. But
One question I asked you when you told us was, did you use the same name?
no, we did not. We did not
I feel like people might think about that because you mentioned the name earlier. Because that was the first thing I thought about when you were like, her name is this. And I was like, I hope that's not the same name because you never told us the name before.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not the same name. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it goes like it's not the same. So,
Is there a reason why y'all picked Kendall?
yeah. I mean, her birth mom wanted a name that started with a K. And it was kind of hard to have a name that starts with a K that kind of works in both English and Spanish. And Kendall isn't necessarily the same. It's pronounced a little bit different. But it was very, very close. Um, so then with her like having a birthday so close to John, we were like, all right, we're gonna go with Kendall, since you got the birthday. Because Kendall was my middle name.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Like, give her his middle name.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It all
yeah,
worked out in the end.
it
It
really did.
definitely did.
It surely did. So yeah, that's it. That's the story.
Pity party was fun though.
It was. I mean, but I was thinking about it that whole time. Like, I could leave at any moment.
Y'all really played us.
I know. I was like, not this man having a baby after we threw him a party. He could have just canceled it. Or at least made it a celebration, but I guess you couldn't make it a celebration because you weren't sure still,
Yeah,
because anything
yeah,
can
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, because then it was like, we could be celebrating, and then all of a sudden it's like, dang, not again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
So it was just
yeah,
like,
But it
you
was
gotta
fun either way.
play
yeah.
it
It's still
safe.
fun.
It was. It was a good time. I appreciated it.
Mhm.
So, what else? What else is there? Is that the end of this episode?
I don't remember how we ended the other one. I think y'all started talking about Joyous for some reason. But Kendall, me and Kendall, we besties. Kendall only likes me. And that's gonna be, huh?
I said that's very true.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold that as long as I can. She's
Kendall will be
almost
moving up a room in the daycare.
so nice.
I'm not ready
Ones,
for that.
what is it? Ones and twos?
Well, she ain't ones and twos yet.
She about to be.
Well, her and this other baby, they're very close. Like they're like they call them the besties in daycare. But he's turning one like this week or so. So he's moving there, and they were like, "Oh, well, we'll just move Kendall too." But Kendall's gonna be the only baby not walking there. So I was like,
She gonna
It
get it
might help
though.
her. It might
yeah,
help her like want to walk, watching little people walk.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
was like, they'd be running circles around my baby.
That's
I was like, just wait till she stand. Oh, because she can stand now. She just be like, ha ha ha. I'm like, you're tall, so.
She is
So
tall.
she is. She's very tall. But she'd be So it's a matter of time. It seemed. Because she surely shot up. Because now the like crib be like here. She'd be like, y'all up? I'm like, go back to sleep. But
Did you ever put the bed all the way down?
we had to. We had to skip the other level, the middle level. Put that joint straight down. And she'd still be there. Like, I'm like, girl. She climbs the stairs and all now. I'm like,
I start baby proofing for real.
yeah, we got
Yeah.
a daggone baby gate now. And she be shaking that thing like, break it down. I'm like, move, move. Yeah,
Oh,
she be moving. But yeah, that's my stories.
Yeah. I guess we should figure out how we now close our episodes. I don't remember how we used to close our episodes. This podcast and stuff is
I
not
feel
what it
like
used to be.
we kind of wrap it up. Like, yeah, that's this episode. So thank y'all for tuning in again. We will continue to do this more frequently than we did before because we're virtual. You never know. Sooner or later, you might get a whole episode of us in person, but we don't know when that will be.
yeah.
Not after we canceled our in-person session.
Hey, yeah. Well, after I said it, that's when I was like, "Oh yeah, we canceled it."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. You never know. We might have a guest on, but or not.
But yeah. But don't forget to like, share,
Oh,
subscribe, rate.
forgot all about that.
Yeah, all the stuff, all the stuff. We're trying to be consistent. We're trying to be back. We're trying to be more current. Not putting out episodes, 6 months later. Trying to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we trying. That's the key word. But
Definitely the key word.
yeah. Until next time, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Away from the storm. Bye.